on XMCloud Forms and its new capabilities. And I think, as Rohan already mentioned, like today's me and Nikita Vashisht are going to speak on this topic. So, Nikita, can you introduce yourself?
So yeah, hi, my name is Nikita Vashisht. I'm working as a technical lead in extension information technology. I'm currently certified in Sitecore version 9 and 10. I'm also XM Cloud and Order Cloud certified. I'm working for a leading automobile organization. Then apart from that, I keep on contributing to the organization and the community. So yeah, it's pretty much about me. Over to you, Vishal.
Okay, thank you. And I'm Sitecore Technology MVP, and currently I'm working as a technical lead at Ascentech, and I'm certified in Sitecore 9, 10, and XMCloud. And I have exposure on like various Sitecore products and various kind of implementations. And today we are going to talk on that XMCloud Forms. So what we are going to learn today. Okay, so we will talk about Forms journey, how Forms will evolve, right, with Sitecore, and we will discuss about the XMCloud Forms and what are the key features of that. And recently, few days back, Sitecore launched some new features and new capabilities. So we'll talk about that as well. Then we'll discuss on form creation, how we can create a form, followed by the demo. Okay, so if we talk about forms, so as we all know, forms are the crucial part of our website, right? So without forms, website, I would say it's nothing, right? Because it helps us a lot in various ways, right? In terms of data collection, we have a contact us form, in terms of feedback, in terms of user interaction, or we can also generate the leads as well, right, via forms. So forms are the crucial part. And if we talk with respect to the Sitecore, so if I talk about before Sitecore 9, we were using WFFM forms, and that was the external module which we will you know deploy on top of our Sitecore instance. That is not come inbuilt with the Sitecore, that is external module. And there are a lot of it helps us a lot at that time, but still there are some limitations as well. Like as per the latest trend, Sitecore is evolving itself, right, as per the marketing trends. But this is external module, we need to wait for that as well to be upgraded. And there are some performance related implications at that time with that. But with Sitecore 9, Sitecore introduced Sitecore Forms, which has a lot much good capabilities. And for DXP solutions, we are still using that. With the Sitecore 10.4 version as well, we are still using Sitecore Forms. That has a lot of good features. We can drag and drop the elements and easily create our forms. Now we have, as market is moving to the SaaS-based products, right? The composable architecture. And to solve that issue, we need some solution, right, with respect to forms. So 4 months back, in end of January, Sitecore launched Sitecore Forms, XMCloud Forms. Okay, and with that, that problem has been solved in a very better way, I can say that, because there are a lot of good features of that. We can design the forms, and like in any way we want, right? We can customize, design, we can make it appealing, and we can, the better thing is like it is not storing the data as well, right? So we can using the webhooks and transmit the data to the desired systems. So let's talk more about the XM Cloud Forms. So XM Cloud Forms, so as I just mentioned, right, we can create the visuals in any of the way which we want. We can style everything in that. And the one of the most best thing is, we don't need to pay extra for this product, right? So it is come inbuilt with the XM Cloud subscription. So if we have the subscription of XM Cloud, we can use the form builder and design the forms. And functionality wise, we can easily integrate that form on any of the page without doing anything, right? It is just like a component. As we drag and drop the components in the page designer in XM Cloud, in that way we can add the forms as well. And in terms of data handling, as we know, most of the organizations have their own strict guidelines or privacy and those compliance thing, right? So that's why we are not storing anything on the cloud. So we are getting the data, whatever user filled in the form. And simply we can, via the help of webhook, we can transmit that data to the desired system. Wherever the business is comfortable, we can easily store the data in that um, system itself. And to utilize this form on the pages, we need like GSS version of 21.6.0 or the later one. Then we have a lot of good features as well with this XM Cloud Forms, like form management. So we can easily create, update, delete, and review the forms, and we can do the bulk operations as well. Bulk operation in terms of, so we can activate the form, we can filter the forms, right? If we want to delete multiple forms in a one go, we can do that as well. We can add labels because if we have if you're working on a large enterprise project and we have hundred of forms to manage them, we can label them as well, and we can do the bulk operations. Filtering is the another way we have, so we can filter the forms. Then layouts. So layouts are also very much flexible with the XM Cloud Forms. So we can create our custom layouts as well. We can use the out-of-box layouts like one column, two column, and we can split the columns and everything in the way we want. And another best feature is like we can create multi-page forms as well now with XM Cloud Forms. So if you want, but the limit is like of 10 pages, so not more than 10 pages we can create with a form, but I think 10 is sufficient, right, to create a form. Then we have a drag and drop. Yeah, this is the like main thing, like we can drag and drop elements on the form. Then we have a undo redo feature as well, so if we then did some mistakes, so we can undo the changes and all. And it is maintaining the versions as well, right? So we have an option to save the form as a version. So there are different save options. We will show you that in the demo. And yeah, so we have three status of the form. Okay, whenever we create any form in the XM Cloud dashboard, so there are three status. Initially, the form is in draft state. Whenever we are when we started creating the form, it's in draft state. And when we attach our form with the webhook, then it's in inactive state until we make that active. So initially, it will be in inactive state, and we need to activate that form. And once the form is activated, then it will be available in the page designer to drag and drop that form on the pages. Then we have webhooks. So whenever the user submit a form, so data will be transmitted to the third party system. So we are not storing any of the information on the cloud portal. Then we have a template library. So template library is something, out of box, we are getting 5 templates. So by using those templates, we can customize the forms or create the forms, or we can create the form from scratch as well. Then we have a saving a form as a template. So here we can save our form as a template as well, which means, so if I am working on a multi-site solution, I have 50 websites. So I know like the contactors form is kind of a similar one, right, for most of the sites. And if I want to save that as a template, so if any new fields, someone wants to add new fields, so they can simply use that template and customize the form in the way which they want. Then in terms of styling and validations, so we can we can change everything on that form, even color, border, and everything, like background image or everything can be editable. And we can add the validations as well, like regex and all those things we can add on the field level. Then we have a preview option as well. So we can preview our form in multiple devices. Like if before pushing it to live, if we want to preview our form on mobile, iPad, and desktop, so we can do that as well with this form builder. So then we have new features, updates. So Nikita, can you take this forward from here?
Sure, sure. So let's just discuss about the new features that XM Cloud Forms have had. So first one is the editing active forms. So now we have the privilege of editing the active forms. So whatever changes that we are making on our existing live form, that will be automatically applied to all the live instances that we have for that particular form. Then the second one is archiving the form. So now on our forms dashboard, if we have multiple forms and there are certain forms that are no longer in use, so we can definitely archive it. Then third one is to send the custom text message to your webhooks. So there are like certain fields like select, multi-select, radio button or checkbox. For those specific fields, we can send a custom value through webhooks, and that specific custom value will not be exposed to the users who are using that form. Then the fourth one is to apply styles. So now we have a feature to create a global styling option. So supposedly if I have a brand, right, and we have 5 forms under it, and I need same theming for all the 5 forms. So rather than editing each field for each forms one by one, we can create a global styling and apply it, and we can have the same theming under one brand. Then the fifth one is to upload the media files. So now we have the option to upload the media files. So there is a field for uploading files. So even in that, there are certain things that are configurable. First one is the size of the file that we are uploading, the format in which we are uploading, and the number of files that we can upload. So all of these 3 things are configurable. Then the sixth one is dynamic forms with logic feature. So now XM Cloud Forms have the privilege of adding conditional logics. So supposedly if we are creating a registration form and we want to take the state of the user who is filling up that form, and we have to populate cities accordingly, so that field conditions can be now added. We have different operators that are there. We can add the group operator as well. So a lot of new features are added. Now we'll talk about a general workflow, how the form works. So basically, we create a form in a form builder. We have certain layouts that are predefined. Then as Vishal mentioned, we have template library that has pre-configured forms. So we can select either one of them if we want, and we can reuse it, or if we want, we can create a form from scratch. Then we can do the designing part. There are certain CSS that we can apply. There are validations that are there for us. So as per our Figma design, we can design our form. Then to send the data when we're filling up the form, since it's a SaaS-based solution, so no data is being stored in our system. So when a user is filling up a form, it can directly transmit it to a third-party application or a system. So we'll add a webhook, and post adding a webhook, we can save and activate our form, and then it will be used across our website. So now we have a live demo. Let's just quickly move to it. Just a second. Yeah. So this is the cloud portal that we have. So when you go to the tools option, inside the build, you can see the forms available to us. You simply click on this. Over here, our forms dashboard appears. Here I've created certain forms already. So there are multiple filtering options that are available to us. So we can filter. So if we have multiple forms and we have to manage our dashboard, so we can filter it via our statuses. So we have 3 statuses available to us. One is draft, active, and inactive. So we can filter it accordingly. And then we have another filter that is available to us is via labels. So, and even we can search it with the name. So as Vishal mentioned in the key features that we have option of bulk editing or bulk action performance. So here we can just simply check it. So now here you can see there are options to delete. So now if I select all of the form at once, so I can archive it if I want. So one of the new features that has launched is to archive the form. So that is there. Then we can add bulk labels. So supposedly if I want to add a form label to all of my forms, so I can just simply add it and I'll close it. So you can see all of my forms has this label as forms. So that can be done. Then there is a toggle button where you can check all your archived and non-archived form. So I have 2 forms in my archived section. So how you archive your form is basically you click on this 3 dots. There's an option to archive a form. So when you click, it will move to your archived list. So that's how you do it. So that's about the form dashboard. Let's just create a new form. For creating a new form, you click on this create form button. You give a name. For a demo purpose, I'm creating a subscribe form. I'll save this. So once you save it, our form builder will appear. So let us talk about few things very quickly. There are on my left hand side, there is a panel where there is a layout. So how we want to structure our form, there are different structures that are pre-given to us. So we can select either one of them. In our items, we have different fields that are being provided. There is a button field, email, phone, a lot of fields that are there. Then in option, we have general settings where we can specify certain settings for our form. So we can specify the content width, border width, we can specify the colors of the border. Then we have validation messages. So if you want to change any predefined validation messages, we can configure it from here. Then we have image editing options if you want. And then there is a social media option if you want to change the alignment or icon style, all of that we can do it. Then there is a template library where there are pre-configured forms. So if we want to use them as it is in our website, we can select it. Or if we want to edit it, we can obviously select one of the forms and edit as per our designs. So that is also a feasibility. So for the demo, I will create a new form. So for creating a new form, basically you choose a layout first. So I'll take the full width. I'll take a short text for the name field. Once you basically just simply drag and drop it. When you click on the field here on my right hand side, you will have certain options to edit this field however you want. So I'll change the label to first name. Then I'll change the placeholder as first name. I don't need help text, but if you want, you can definitely add that. Then there are two checkboxes. So if you want to make this field as a mandatory field, you can check this required checkbox. And there is a hidden field also. So now if you want to make a hidden field, so you can just simply check on this hidden field and you can give a pre-fill value. So that pre-fill value will be there on your form. But as of now, I don't require it. So I just simply make it a mandatory field. Then there is a character limit option. You can specify the characters, how many characters you want this field to take. Then there are different styling options for the label, fields, and placeholder. So I can show one of them to you, and there are similar options in all the other fields as well. So supposedly if I want my label color to be in blue color, so I can just simply click on this and select the blue color. And as you can see, the first name has changed to blue color. So all of these feasibilities are there. So we can do that. Let's just add another field. I'll give it as last name. I'll change it to last name. I don't need the type text. I'll remove it. I'll make it a required field. So now we have a feasibility to make it a multi-page form. So as of now, we can add 10 pages, but I think like 10 pages are more than enough. So I will create it as a multi-page form. So I'll add another page. I'll add a radio button. So in my radio button, I'll edit this. So I'll ask, want to subscribe to our newsletter. This also I want as a mandatory field. There are options that we can give. So as of now, I want to do two options, but as many options as you want, you can add that. You can give it as yes, or you can give it as no. So another field that I want is the email field. So I think everything is pretty much sorted here. So I don't need the help text. And then we have a recaption. Okay, it is there. So one interesting thing with reCAPTCHA is that there is a predefined validation that has already been added to our form builder, that if I try to add this reCAPTCHA on my first page, it would not allow me to add it. See, it will give me an error message saying that reCAPTCHA should be always added on the last page of your form. So this is something that is pre-handled already. So we can add a reCAPTCHA on the last page as well as for the TNC checkbox also. This can also be added on the last page. So these are something that are pre-handled already. So now, since it's a multi-page form, so the next and the back button to navigate to the pages that have been already added. So now another thing that I want in my form is that when a user checks the checkbox for the yes option, like if they want to subscribe to our channel, then only the email field should appear. And if the person has selected the no option, then the email field should not appear. So for that, now since I've mentioned that we have an option of adding a conditional logic, so I'll simply click on the logic tab, and here I can add my logic. I'll click on the logic. Here we can have multiple operators. So I'll select my field, and I've selected my radio button field. And if it is equal to a yes value, I'll add an action where I want to show the email field. And another action that I want is to make it a required field. So I've added the logic. So I think my form is pretty much ready. I can preview it on various devices. So there are 3 devices available to us: desktop, tablet, and mobile. So I will fill this form. I'll add my name. I'll go to the next page. So now, as you can see, the email field is not available to us. So once I click on the yes option, then only the email field will appear. So now our conditional logic is working. And if I select the no option, it will disappear. So as of now, I need it. I'll select the email. I'll check the reCAPTCHA. I can validate it by going back whether all the fields are filled or not. I'll submit it. So now it is giving me an option to attach a webhook. So any form cannot be submitted without a webhook. So I'll set up a webhook. So I'll click on this option. It will redirect me to the settings page where I can manage my webhooks. I'll click on this. So here also I have 2 webhooks that are already been created. So I can create a new webhook for my form. And here also we have different filtering options available to manage our webhook page. So we have authentication type via which we can manage our webhooks, or other one is in use. So if the webhooks are in use, so we can filter it accordingly. So these are the options that are available to us. So I'll create one webhook. So there are different authentication types for the security compliance. So as per your requirement, you can select either one of them. So as of now, I'm selecting no authentication. I'll give it the name as exclusive Pune underscore webhook. And I'm using webhook site to test it. So I'll copy this unique URL that is there. I'll add it and I'll save it. It's not added. Okay, so the similar webhook already exists in my form, so I can use the same webhook. But I have used the unique URL, so that has been there already. it's taking a little while to open. So yeah, so I can choose an existing webhook. So yeah, ICG Pune has been added. So I'll select that. So in my settings, there is an option to select the submit action. So there are two options to submit a form. One is the success message. So once I select it, so if my data is being successfully submitted, then this success message will appear and we can edit it however we want it to show. And if not, then the failure message, we can configure it from here. Another submit action that is present is the redirect URL. So if we want to redirect to any specific URL, so supposedly we are filling up a form, we have to redirect to a specific payment page, say. So we can specify the URL for that. And if the webhook fails, then this message will appear. So all of these things are configurable. So as of now, I want to show the success message. I'll select that and I'll now preview my form. So I'll fill up my form. I'll go to the next page. I want the email field. I'll enter it. I'll check this checkbox and I submit it. So here is the payload that will be sent. So once I submit it, it shows webhook test successful. The form has been submitted successfully. And over here, we have got a post request with the details. So another thing that I want to cover over here is the comment section. So yeah, if we want to add any comments for a specific field, so I want this field to be as per the Figma design. So I can change it to change it as per the Figma design, and I can add the comment. So once I'll enter, a comment will be added. So yeah, see, from my ID, a comment is added. So now if I want that I have resolved this comment, so I'll simply click on this. I'll mark it as resolved. So once you mark it as resolved, and you can choose the toggle button and you can see that this specific comment has been resolved. So here you can add comments as per the field, or if you want to make changes, then there is a tab for versioning also. So now there is an auto save version that is already been there. But now if you want to edit the form and you don't want to use the current version and you want to add another one, so what you can do is, just a second, there is a drop down over here. Here we have an option to save a version. So when you click on this, so here is a pop-up that comes up that there are no changes. So if I supposedly go to my form and I make some changes, supposedly I add another E to it, and now if I try to save a version, so it has created a new version for me. A new version was created. So that's how you can create a version. Then another thing that we have is to save our form as a template. So if we want this form to be there available in our template, so there is a option to save it as a template. That also we can do. I can just simply write as subscribe us form and I'll save this. So it's already there. Give it this name, subscribe us. And I'll save it. So my template is now saved. And now everything is done. So I'll save and activate my form. So now my form is active. I can add a label to it, say it's a subscribe form, and add this label. So now how we can use it on our page. I'll go to my site, I'll go to the option of my website.
Yeah, one thing over here, can we cover conditional logics as well?
What I can cover, Vishal?
Condition logics.
That I've added
Okay. Okay, okay. If you have added, that's fine.
in the email field.
Okay.
Hmm. So in our page builder, we can attach our form that we have created to any of our web page. So yeah, I have multiple pages over here. So I've already created a subscribers page. So I click on this. Let's move it. So yeah, now the subscribe page has opened. So I can simply add my form that I have created. So there are multiple forms that are there. So I'll add my subscribers form. So now it has been added. I can preview it. I can add my name. I want that email field to be there. Now I'll submit the form. There it is submitted successfully. and we have also got a request. So yeah, pretty much about it. That's it, I guess. So we can take up the questions now if we have. Yeah.
So I think we are done with the whatever we have. So let's start taking the questions. So Rohan,
Hello everyone. Hey, thanks Vishal and Nikita. Sorry, I was on mute. So what I'll do is we'll just narrate the questions from the chat to you one by one so you can focus on answering those. So the first question that I see is I see file upload control where it is uploaded the files. Can we configure it to upload it to remote location or somewhere on cloud?
so as of now, like when we upload any of the file on the form, so it will upload it to AWS S3 bucket. So as of now, we don't have any option to configure it in on our own cloud platform. So it will automatically upload the file to AWS S3 bucket itself for now. But maybe in future we will get it as well.
Sure. The second question is regarding the validations. Okay, so how can we link external services to validate some content while data input in forms? Example, zip code, area code, etc.
Here for validations, we have regex to add that on the fields as of now, but to add some external validations, if you want to validate it through some external system or APIs or that kind of thing, as of now, that validations, there is no option of doing that as of now. But yeah, we can put regex to validate the field values.
Okay, great. The next question is related to multi-step forms. How are the data stored at client side, stepwise data, before we submit and transmit data to the target system? When we go to the previous step, as we see back button in the form.
So it is not storing. I can say that anywhere it is maintaining within itself. Like if you are filling the information, it is maintaining that information. But still, I need to confirm on that. Might be in local storage or somewhere else. Like it is maintaining only. It is not saving that information until user submit the form. Only after the submission, the data will be transmitted via the webhooks only.
Sure. There are a couple of questions, but I'll skip few and I'll just take two of them, keeping the time in mind. This is related to Sitecore embed personalization. Can we use based upon the form data submission?
Yeah, so like we have option like the submission rate and viewers and all those things. Analytics form analytics we have with the Axiom Cloud Forms. And once we have the analytics based on that, we can like do the campaigns and all those things by integrating that analytics data with the other products of Sitecore. Like via the help of Sitecore Connect, we can integrate this with the Sitecore Send, and we can do the campaigns and those kind of things. Once we have the analytics data, so we can personalize the things and manage them as well. That is feasible.
So last but not least, so anyone who have more questions can reach out to Nikita and Vishal. So I'll be just taking the last question. So question is in Sitecore forms, the data was saved to experience from database before, but now we are not saving it. So is it a loss of analytics data?
No, no, no. Like we are not saving it, but still, whenever the user land on the form, so we will get that information like user visited on the form and those things. But yeah, the data wise, like I need to check. Like, I don't think so. Like, because the XM Cloud won't get to know because we are storing the information on the third-party system. But yeah, but still, like, we are not storing the data in any of the experience database as of now. So we are simply transmitting the data.
Sure. Thank you, Vishal. Thank you, Nikita. So can you just select two users from the question category, the questions that you like?
I think one would be Pradeep Shukla because the question is something that is logical also, and so one is Pradeep.
Yes.
Another one you want to choose, Vishal?
Yeah, I feel the Sandeep Patil is the another one because this question is also good one. Like, because we are not storing the information, right? So how? So still, like, it is a good question.
Sure. And can we select now from the participant list? So the only catch is you cannot select me, Nikita, and yourself. Or like
Okay.
if Nikita is choosing one, you are choosing one. Like three of us can't be the winners. Rest all is floor is open to select. And even Pradeep and Sandeep cannot win again because they have already. So we need to leave this five and you can select any two.
Okay. So